Have you ever wondered about the secret habits that spiritually evolved souls have abandoned and why they've left them behind? Today, we delve into 6 shadows of the ego, persistent patterns that obscure the radiance of our true selves. These habits, like veils, obscure our spiritual vision, hindering our journey towards enlightenment. Let us together lift these veils, revealing the luminous essence within. As we explore the shadows, remember, there is no judgment, only understanding. For in the depths of darkness, the light shines most brightly. In the grand theatre of existence, where countless characters play their parts, we often find ourselves enmeshed in a tragic drama. The self, a fragile vessel, is easily swayed by the tempestuous winds of comparison. We measure our worth against the illusory gold of others, neglecting the diamonds hidden within our own depths. This insidious habit, a phantom of the ego, distorts perception, casting a shadow over our inherent radiance. We become architects of our own discontent, constructing elaborate prisons from the building blocks of insecurity. In this golden prison of comparison, we lose sight of our unique drapery, the intricate pattern woven with threads of experience and growth. It is a futile pursuit, a chasing of mirages in a desert of self-doubt. To free oneself from this gilded cage requires a radical shift in perspective. It demands a turning inward, a rediscovery of the self as a sovereign being. We must cultivate a garden of self-compassion, where the seeds of doubt are replaced with blossoms of self-worth. In this sacred space, we recognize that our journey is unique, our pace is our own, and our worth is intrinsic, untouched by the opinions of others. When we cease to compare ourselves to the imagined lives of others, we create space for our own authentic expression. We blossom into the individuals we were meant to be, radiating a light that inspires and uplifts those around us. It is in embracing our individuality that we truly connect with the world, fostering a sense of belonging that transcends superficial comparisons. Fear, a spectre woven from the threads of doubt, casts a long shadow over the human experience. The fear of judgment, a particularly insidious form, imprisons the soul in a self-constructed cell. It is a phantom puppeteer, manipulating our actions from the unseen stage of the mind. To live in constant anticipation of another's appraisal is to surrender one's agency, to relinquish the authorship of one's life story. It is to walk through the world with a mask, a carefully curated persona designed to appease an imagined audience. In this performance, authenticity is sacrificed at the altar of acceptance, and the soul withers in the absence of genuine expression. This insidious phantom, the fear of judgment, erects a fortress around the heart, a barrier that shields us from connection and intimacy. It is a whisper of doubt that eclipses the radiant light of self-belief, a tempestuous sea that threatens to capsize the vessel of our spirit. Yet within this darkness, a flicker of courage resides, a spark that can ignite a revolution within. To dismantle this fortress, we must first acknowledge its existence. By bringing the fear into the light of awareness, we begin to disarm its power. It is a journey of self-discovery, a peeling back of layers to reveal the authentic self beneath. With each act of courage, we chip away at the walls of our self-imposed prison, liberating the spirit within. Gossip, a serpent with a forked tongue, slithers through the undergrowth of society, leaving trails of destruction in its wake. It is a poison brewed in the cauldron of insecurity, a bitter elixir sought by those who yearn to diminish the light of others. In the garden of the soul, gossip is a pernicious seed, choking compassion and empathy. To engage in gossip is to trade in shadows, to barter the gold of one's spirit for the counterfeit currency of fleeting approval. It is to clothe oneself in the rags of another's misfortune, a masquerade of superiority that offers no true fulfillment. The tongue, a potent instrument of creation, becomes a weapon of destruction when wielded with malice. In the tapestry of human connection, gossip unravels the threads of trust, sowing discord and division. It is a tempest stirring in the calm waters of community, creating ripples of distrust that can take generations to heal. To break free from this insidious habit is to embark on a journey of self-mastery, to cultivate a garden of the heart, where only kindness and compassion bloom. Let us guard the gates of our lips, ensuring that only words of upliftment and encouragement pass through. For in the alchemy of human interaction, our words hold transformative power. Let us be architects of harmony, weaving tapestries of connection with threads of empathy and respect. In the golden birdcage of consumerism, the human spirit often finds itself captive. Material possessions, like shimmering baubles, distract us from the true treasures within. We accumulate, amass, and adorn ourselves with the tokens of a world that values quantity over quality. Yet, in this pursuit of abundance, we often neglect the cultivation of our inner gardens. The heart, a vast and fertile field, yearns for nourishment of a different kind. It seeks experiences, connections, and the growth of the soul. Possessions, like fleeting shadows, offer temporary solace, but ultimately leave an emptiness that yearns to be filled. True wealth resides not in the overflowing coffers, but in the richness of human experience. It is in sharing, giving, and serving that we discover the enduring treasures of life. To detach from the material plane is to spread one's wings and soar into the boundless sky of consciousness. It is to shed the weight of possessions and embrace the lightness of being. In this liberation, we find a freedom that transcends the limitations of the physical world. For it is not the accumulation of things that defines us, but the depth of our souls and the breadth of our compassion. Let us cultivate a minimalist spirit, not in deprivation, but in liberation. Let us find joy in the simplicity of existence, in the beauty of the natural world, and in the warmth of human connection. For in these things, true abundance resides. Resentment, a phantom of the heart, casts a long shadow over the soul. It is a parasite, feeding on the lifeblood of joy, draining vitality with each passing moment. To harbour such a toxic emotion is to erect a prison of one's own making, a solitary confinement of the heart. This emotional anchor, forged from the iron chains of perceived injustice, binds us to the wreckage of the past. It is a futile attempt to control that which has already transpired, a denial of the present moment's power. Resentment is a thief, stealing the vibrancy of the present and mortgaging the promise of the future. To relinquish the grip of resentment is to set a captive spirit free. It is to transform a barren wasteland into a fertile garden, where compassion and understanding can flourish. In this sacred act of letting go, we discover a freedom that transcends the limitations of the past. Resentment is a heavy cloak, obscuring the light of the soul. It is a choice, a habit that can be broken. By cultivating forgiveness and compassion, we can shed this burden and step into a realm of inner peace. It is a journey of self-discovery, a path that leads to healing and wholeness. Thus, by choosing forgiveness, we heal ourselves and create space for love and joy to flourish. In the hidden sanctuaries of our souls, where the whispers of our deepest fears intertwine with the echoes of our ancient past, there dwells a tempest known as negative self-talk. For those who traverse the path of spiritual evolution, this tempest is but a fleeting wisp, transmuted into a gentle, celestial symphony of self-compassion and divine clarity. Negative self-talk, that relentless storm of self-reproach has been eclipsed by the radiant light of their own sacred truth. This internal dialogue, a cacophony of doubt and self-deprecation, is a familiar refrain for many. It is a relentless drumbeat, a constant reminder of perceived failures and shortcomings. This phantom self, a counterfeit of our true essence, obscures the radiance of our soul. To silence this tormentor requires a conscious effort to shift perspective. It is to replace the harsh judgments with words of encouragement, to offer oneself the same grace extended to others. By shifting the focus from self-criticism to self-compassion, we create a sanctuary of the soul, a refuge from the storms of doubt. This journey inward is a pilgrimage to the heart's sanctuary, a place of refuge from the tempestuous world. It is a rediscovery of the self as a sovereign being, a recognition of inherent worth. Let us quiet the mind's relentless chatter and listen to the whispers of the soul. In this silence, we find the strength to rewrite the narrative, to paint a new masterpiece of self-belief. This transformation is a gradual process, a peeling away of layers, revealing the authentic self beneath. It requires patience, persistence, and unwavering belief in one's potential. With each act of self-compassion, we plant a seed of empowerment that grows into a forest of confidence. Let us cultivate a garden of the soul, where self-love is the nurturing sun and self-belief is the fertile soil. To relinquish the familiar is to embrace the unknown, a courageous step towards authentic living. By shedding these habitual chains, we create space for the soul to soar. It is in this liberation that we discover our true potential, a radiance that illuminates the world around us. Let us cultivate a garden of consciousness where the seeds of change blossom into the flowers of transformation. Share your experiences, your triumphs, and your challenges in the comments below. Together, let us create a community of support and inspiration. Like and subscribe to join us on this journey of self-discovery. Your engagement fuels our passion for creating content that empowers and uplifts. Thank you for embarking on this exploration with us. May your path be illuminated by the light of your own soul.